Welcome to episode 3 of the Who Is program, brought to you by the Information Systems Community of Practice of the Project Management Institute. This series of interviews were designed to bring you closer to the lives of some remarkable project managers, which you'll hopefully find useful and insightful. On the last episode we had Sergio Gerosa here, but today is a good day to have Alfonso Bucero. You may know him already as he is a PMI fellow and delivers some fantastic presentations, or because he has written several books on project management, including some in English. What you might not know is how Alfonso first got into project management, or what makes him one of the most positive men I've ever met. I'm your host, Luis Chebra, and this is my guest today, Alfonso Bucero. Hi, Alfonso.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. Maybe we could start by checking your path into project management. How did you first get into project management?
Well, it's very curious because more than 25 years ago, I was assigned as a project manager accidentally. And it was, I can remember, a customer software project in Spain in different branches for a Spanish bank. And I was assigned there. And, I didn't have any clue about how to manage a project really, because I studied into the university, but I never put it into practice. And one of my secrets for success in this first project was just to listen to people, because most of my team members were older than me, more than 10 years, and I asked many questions. And I can remember that project like very hard for me, but I learned a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, but it was my beginning. So it was great.
You started as a computer science engineer, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I had a degree on engineering in computer science in the University of Madrid, Polytechnical University. Yeah.
So you started doing projects on IT.
Yes, exactly. I started like an engineer, and then I was assigned accidentally, as I said, as a project manager for my first project. It was more than 1 year long, and I was traveling a lot, so I had a lot of opportunities to meet people and to deal with different people, and obviously much more experience than me. But it was a great experience for me.
So what helped you when you first started into project management was the kind of proximity you had with other people. What was your worst quality then?
I think I was to listen to them. I think I was many times counting from 1 to 10 mentally, in terms of doing some negative reaction, or seems sometimes I can remember that people were frustrated because I didn't have good leadership qualities, they said, but at least I was so humble in terms of listening to them and trying to learn. And it was wonderful for me because it created a positive spirit of collaboration between us. So it was great.
Right. Uh, do you think those apply just the same today, or do you feel that um, those qualities of yours play a different role today?
Well, I think today we are in a more global environment, so probably a typical project today may be having in your team participating people from different cultures, not from different, only from different organizational cultures, but also from different nationalities. And I think communication is still the key, but also being proactive and being ready to learn from everybody, it will be one of the qualities that I would like to underline in every project today.
Uh, if you hadn't been into IT and project management, what do you think you could be doing today?
Well, probably I will be probably a coacher or a trainer. I was a swimmer for many years ago, during more than 11 years, I was a swimmer, and I was in competition in Spain, not internationally, but in Spain. But also, I was training people in water polo and swimming in the swimming pool. So probably I will be a trainer because I really enjoy dealing with people and trying to coordinate efforts. So the sports for me were one of my main sources of about dealing with people is enjoyable, and obviously you can run in conflicts, but this is for sure enjoyable, mainly because I love people. So I enjoy working with people. Sure.
Okay, but that didn't happen, and now you're a fellow of the Project Management Institute. How did that
Hmm.
happen?
Well, it was. I think it's these circumstances set of different facts during my life because I was a member of PMI since 1993. So it's always almost 18 years by next March, and I have been contributing as a volunteer in many fields, and I was so passionate on my profession. So I think I met a lot of people, and I was very lucky in terms of finding the right people in the right time and in the right place in project management, because as soon as I tried to practice my career, I had the opportunity to meet different colleagues and very professional people who helped me to, first of all, to learn, and secondly, to collaborate, and third, to be focused on how to develop myself, my career in a better way. So I think probably it has been a set of different facts during my life, during the last 12 or 13 years, contributing as a volunteer and writing books and being a practitioner. So I'm really happy about that, but never expected because my spirit is just how to learn from everybody. So it was for me a great surprise and also a great honor.
You are also a very active person because besides of your company that is consulting in project management, you somehow managed to find the time to make some fabulous presentations, namely on the PMI congresses. And well, you authored three books on your own, and some others you participated in them. You write for some magazines. How do you find the time to do all this?
Well, the first thing for me is that everything I do in my profession, so I need to recognize that some days I am a little bit tired because I am doing special effort, and sometimes I am start writing some drafts for my columns or for my books very late in the day, But I always been so passionate about that. So I think that the first principle is that first of all I enjoy what I am doing, and this is for me absolutely key for success. And secondly, I believe in my profession. So I always trying to sell myself the idea that everything that I do is worth it. So it is my principle. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes I have been using much more free time and time from my family than from me. I need to recognize that. I need to be careful about that, but I really enjoy it. So it is the first principle is uh, whatever you are doing is enjoyable for you, and you are, enjoying your work and your efforts. The way in which I proceed is absolutely different, much more positive.
And you also find enough time to uh, finishing your PhD in project management. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Well, the thing is that I have been engaged on that during several years right now, because I started in the year 2005, and finally I got finished my master's chance in project management in 2007. And since 2007, well, crisis times came, and the market was affecting ourselves as professionals, as consultants, and I needed to stop some activities. But now, this year, I have restarted my thesis, so I'm now in the period of starting to write my thesis, and I started already last month. And so my commitment is yeah, to get it finished along next year. So I am writing about project management office, and I have focused on behaviors uh, regarding the different stakeholders. So it is one of the things that is attractive to me in terms of studying the behavior from people, because I really enjoy doing that, and I am trying to collect as much information as possible. I know this project will be very hard for me because I am doing some things in parallel or in different ways, but I am really committed this year to do it. So I hope that the next time I meet you, wherever, I can tell you, okay, well, I got it. So I finished my project. So, so today is a good day. So it's
That's right, and that's very good. Uh, do you think it makes a real difference for you to have a PhD or not to have? Do you think it's two completely different scenarios, or it's just something that you really enjoy doing and well, you do it because of it?
Um, being honest, at the beginning, I believe that it will not be adding so much value because the amount of years of experience I have at the moment. I am not considering myself as an old man, but I have been, like yourself, working in project management for several years, and it was my opinion at the beginning. But at the moment I was going in depth, I discovered that research is also one of my passions. So trying to find out much more information and detailed information has been great for me. Number one. And number two is, I think, is another type of vision. So we as professionals, many times we are focused on practices and focused on real life circumstances. But when you are trying to find out something under an academic perspective or whatever, you need to eliminate all your assumptions and all your real environments and try to ask you why and to ask you what. So for me, it has been a great discovery, and I think it's a real value to be, or at least to the two ways or the two aspects of the vision of project management. I mean, the academic research and the practice point. So I think it was complementary in my point of view.
Y- You do some fabulous presentations. I have the privilege to assist to one presentation of yours. Uh, you put so much energy on your presentations, and I remember the one I assisted. You started by excusing yourself because of your English, and I can tell you that I didn't feel any difference because of your English. I mean, uh, you can compensate uh, the strong accent with everything else you can put into the presentation. Uh, is that all natural, or did you have to make an effort to make such good presentations?
I think I really believe that it's so natural because I can remember one of my objectives in my career many years ago when I worked for Hewlett Packard for many years, almost 14 years in Spain. And I can remember the first time I considered to present in another language different by my mother language, that is Spanish. I was not very supported by my managers, and I said, okay, well, I need to do it. I think it will be a good opportunity to be able to express your thoughts, your ideas, and your experiences in other language in front of different audiences. So I can remember the first presentation I delivered in English was rehearsed by me 150 times, and I video recorded, and I can remember that I didn't very well, but I got very, very encouraging feedback from people that said, okay, Alfonso, probably you are not able to pronounce all the right words with the right accent on in the great construction, grammar construction or whatever, but with your body language you are trying to communicate, and you are able to demonstrate that you were there. So it was really encouraging for me. And from that moment, I think something in my body and in my mind, every time I'm presenting, I'm thinking about those comments. And those comments were very, very powerful for me. So I am not so worried because my pronunciation. I am so worried about how to watch to the face to the people and how to communicate bi-directionally and trying to interact with them, and it was really helpful. So I consider some part is natural, another part is because rehearsing many, many times, But I really enjoyed. I think the first point is I really enjoyed communicating to people. I don't know if I am doing well, very well, or very bad, but I am trying to do it, and I think this is the trick: trying to be yourself, speaking from your heart. It is one of my key messages here.
Yes, that's a real life example that communication, the communication that takes place is not all that verbal, but much about the attitude, the body language, the expressions, the way you move, the way you say the things that you want to say, and it's a perfect example of that. Your company does consulting and project management. Um, Basically aboard Spain, I think. Is that right?
Well, it's not exactly right because I am mainly most of my customers are coming from Spain, but since 2 or 3 years from now, I have been engaged internationally, working and delivering some workshops worldwide, not only professional presentations in project management, but also delivering some workshop and consulting, mainly in companies in Germany and in some companies in France and Italy and so on. And more I am working internationally because I think the crisis is forcing every individual to move where the work is. So it is my concept in my mind is you need to go and you need to manage projects, you need to deliver consulting wherever you have an opportunity. So I think for me, language is not a barrier. So obviously, I'm trying to communicate as much clear as possible, and trying to engage many people. And I was blessed many years ago because I belong to PMI, and PMI is a great opportunity to network people. So I'm here working and talking with you now because PMI. So I have met many people because I am a member of PMI and I have the opportunity to share. So yeah, I am working very, very internationally, more and more. And I think my plans for next year is continue traveling. So I'm practically living in the air. So I can remember this year I have been traveling every week. So it's part of my life.
I find that to be the biggest advantages of the congresses of the PMI because of the people you meet. You meet people from all over the place, and you can exchange experience with them, and the networking is amazing. I mean the number and the kind of people you meet, it's fabulous. Uh, You're absolutely right. But do you find many differences the way people deal with project management in Spain and abroad?
Well, probably, yeah. Regarding the culture, probably when I have been working with people in Germany or in the UK, probably the attitude in terms of attending a seminar or running a meeting and being so sharp in terms of starting up on time and meeting are main characteristics. I think in terms of differences between Spain and the rest of the world, I think the maturity level in project management in Spain is growing up dramatically during the last 3 or 4 years. But there is still a gap between the rest of the countries and Spain in terms of, being much more disciplined and taking care much more about, not being scared by management in terms of asking questions and in terms of interacting. So we have, in my opinion, a big gap in terms of the maturity level at the upper management level. So upper managers are not so mature in project management, mainly because in most of the occasions people are not spending time with them. And I think it's a pending subject to spend time with managers and upper managers, explaining to them what is important and what they need to know about project management under a strategic point of view. Okay, so the difference mainly, I think, probably when you come to Spain and you are asking for a PMP certification, is becoming much more popular. So that means that people know more and more about project management, or at least about certifications. In some cases, it is because some organizations are following the trend from worldwide perspective. For instance, multinational companies are creating a mandatory role of project management. They need to be certified, PMP certified, so it's an obligation, and it's an excuse sometimes. But at the moment, people are going there. They are having the opportunity to share much more things, practical things in project management, and I think we are progressing very, very quickly, very fast. But obviously, we don't have the level of maturity that Germany or the UK has at the moment, or France has at the moment. Yeah.
The Portuguese culture and the Spanish culture are very, very different, but I find some similarities in what you're saying with the Portuguese reality. I can tell you that I have some friends that work on construction, and they don't see the value of project management in their profession. And when we go to the PMI congresses, many people that I meet are from the construction industry. So the realities are very, very different.
Yeah, absolutely. Construction industry is very curious because it's a similar effect in Spain, and since 2 or 3 years ago, when the crisis were coming up, at least in Spain, many people from construction were being certified PMP. And now this is like an obligation in every company. But at the beginning, the effect was very curious because many companies believe that if they facilitated to get PMP certified their people, okay, they will be losing them because they will go as independent consultants and they will be leaving the company. So that effect changed dramatically during the last 2 years. And now more and more companies are encouraging people to be PMP certified. So, but yeah, when you are going to a construction company, for instance, they are much more focused on work management than project management itself. I mean, how to manage the work, but not to how to manage the project, how to make a plan, and how to verify it, and how to make tests, and so on. So it's absolutely, I think, absolutely similar to the Portuguese culture in that way. Yeah.
What kind of projects does your company does the most? It's like setting PMOs, or uh, what kind of consulting do you do the most?
Well, the first services we are trying to start out with a company is evaluating the degree of project management maturity in the organizations. So many companies are calling us and say, okay, well, we want to share European consulting, assessing our degree of maturity and telling us what to do and what will be next. So we have been engaged in this type of project for big companies like France Telecom and in Spain, and we have been engaged with logistic company like Tepsa in the Barcelona port, the port of Barcelona. And we have been engaged with the savings banks in Spain, too many. And well, in this particular case, we are running an assessment, and after the assessment, we are defining the type of program to be implemented and putting some priorities regarding the different projects that belongs to that program. And usually these type of projects are very long because in the first part we do the assessment, but after the assessment we need to create the program, and then we need to manage that program and implementation and so on. This is one of the services. Another service is PMO implementation, as you said. Okay, we have helped some organizations to get PMOs implemented because it's one of the part of my experience and my people experience in my company. And obviously, we are managing projects, IT projects, mainly IT projects, and implementation in software development. We have some people doing that. And then we are organizing and getting organized international events and workshops in terms of portfolio management and project management office implementation. And another area we are going in depth since last year is attitude, how to improve the attitude of the whole organization, not only for the project manager, but also for the rest of upper managers, and team members. And this is one of our big demands right now. So we are developing some programs about how to help organizations to change their attitude to a positive one, and how dramatically the results of that organization can be changed through an attitude change from their people. So it is not only a question of training and organizing a workshop, it's a question of working together, delivering a training, of course, for establishing the foundation. But after the foundation is established, we need to coach people and to mentor people on that. And we are running very successfully, not only in Spain, but also internationally.
You have to work very intimately with people from other companies in order to do those kinds of projects. Uh, what kind of challenges do you find when doing it?
Well, I think the first challenge is to understand the organization, the environment. For me, one of the key successful factors for us is we are able to, we have patience enough in order to listen to people and trying to analyze what are the main characteristics in terms of if you are in an environment in which communication is the key, if you are in an open environment or a closed environment, if your management is supporting the culture of project management, if you have or you don't have any initiative in project management. We are establishing some 10 pieces focused on how to create the right environment for successful projects. That it is basically one of my best friend and colleague, Randall England, who wrote a book on that. And we are trying to follow those principles. And it is a real challenge because it allows you to understand each other much better and to be closer and closer. So we are not only assessing the level of knowledge and the level of experience and how they are running projects, we are analyzing first what is the environment in which those projects have been established, has been run. And afterwards, we are trying to take into account those values and how to develop the culture to make it sustainable in the whole organization.
Those are the kind of initiatives that must come from the top down. Uh, is that your experience?
Yeah, yeah. Most of them. It is very curious because in some cases it is a technological department or the engineering department who is calling us. But every time I meet them the first time, I try to establish and to engage upper managers from the first day. And I can remember some experiences in which I was not successful, so I made some mistakes, obviously, to learn. But afterwards, right now, I think we have the right skills to convince upper managers and to get them engaged between from the first day, from the very beginning in this particular project. And this is absolutely critical for success to get them engaged. And it is my first workshop is with upper managers in order to explain to them what are the main pieces of the puzzle in order to be successful. And then all the things are, coming continuously, because at the moment you have sold the idea to upper manager, all the things and all the people will be following him or her. It was my experience.
Um, what kind of company looks for your services in implementing PMOs? Do you find a common factor? Do they come from the same industry or the same size or the same maturity level in project management, for instance? Do you find a common factor there?
Well, I think one common factor is the maturity level, obviously, but it is not really focused on only on IT industry, which is my background. So my background is on IT, but I have been helping people to create PMOs in in engineering companies, in logistics companies, IT companies, and also pharmaceutical ones, laboratories. So I think one common factor is the level of maturity, number one. And then the second thing is just, the need of establishing project management role and project management function like key function in the company. I think more and more companies are understanding that project management is needed, so they cannot avoid to have project management because they need to manage a lot of projects. And at the moment, you are able to talk to the right level and to speak in the language management understand. I mean, in terms of results, in terms of benefits, and key points. People are listening to you more and more. So I think is those common factors is one of them, the maturity level, and the second factor probably is because most of the upper managers has a lack of knowledge in project management, not only tactically but also strategically. And number three is just well, you need to do something different. I think the crisis is helping us a lot in terms of generating more business because people need to try another way. So they can be successful now or unsuccessful, but they need to try something new because things are changing dramatically and very, very fast, and the competition is there.
Okay. Going back to your presentations, the one I assisted, I had the privilege to assist was "Today is a Good Day," and the main message for me is, and I think I was very lucky because that presentation is much the way you are. You are a very positive person, and the presentation is basically about that, to make a positive environment, to have a positive attitude, and that helps to lead the stuff you have to do and to make it work right. Uh, how do you think? How important do you think it is for a project manager to have that positive attitude?
I think it's critical. It's critical for success. I can remember in many cases, in many projects I managed, some many years ago, I was very negative, and people was asking me, "Okay, Alfonso, what about your project? Oh, my project is bad, and my customer is not supporting me, and my manager." I think, and I was reflecting when I wrote my book, and many times every professional is creating much more obstacles than you really believe. Okay, so I think one of the things I reflected on was you cannot change the facts. You cannot change the things that happen. You can react positively or negatively in front of them, and in that way you are reacting negatively. You will be, probably demotivating your people and probably creating much more problems that you have. And on the other hand, if you are reacting positively, you will be able to facilitate the environment to generate more ideas, more alternatives, and positive things. Because you cannot change it, but you need to do something different in the future in order to avoid more mistakes. So for me, positive attitude is absolutely critical, and it is very, very curious because in Spain, for instance, we are very well known because we are very negative in general as a society, you know. So we are all the time criticizing the individuals, criticizing the things that other people do. I can remember many times project managers in Spain criticizing the management and so on. And I follow the principle that if you don't have any positive to say about somebody, please don't say nothing. So, so this is one of the things that helped me a lot. But being honest, it took for me many years, to be aware of, because many times you are very, very negative in terms of the life and the environment, and many times the organizations it causing you a negative environment. But well, I think you can do it, and everybody can change the reactions in front of the situations, And this is, as I call, positive attitude. That is absolutely different that mood. So you can have a positive attitude, and one day you are getting up in the morning and you are not in a very good mood. But the only thing you need is just to reflect, counting from 1 to 10, and going to the bathroom, washing your face, and immediately change your reactions. So this is the type of thing I'm defending all the time.
Actually, I think it was on Bambi that the mother of the rabbit that keeps moving his leg um, tells him at one time precisely that if you don't have nothing to say, please don't say nothing. That reminds me, you had a wonderful story on that presentation about the man that buys a horse from a gypsy.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I am using this type of joke many, many times, mainly also with upper managers, because I think, well, if you want to get implementing something, you need to believe on that idea. And the joke I'm telling many times is a gypsy man who is meeting a Spanish man and trying to sell him a horse. And the man say, okay, I want to sell you a horse. Oh, a horse? I don't need any horse. Oh yes, you need a horse. This horse, is wonderful. It's waking up very early in the morning. The horse is doing all homework, all the things. He's picking your children up to the school, coming back in the evening, and when you come in the evening, everything is done. Everything is wonderful. Okay, well, man, I don't believe you, but well, I'll buy your horse. So the man buy your horse to the gypsy man, and 2 months later they are meeting each other. And the gypsy man, the Spanish man, say to the gypsy man, gypsy man, you were lying. This is an awful horse. This horse is very, very lazy. He's not getting very early in the morning. He's getting up very, very late. And, he's, doing bad things at home. And I hate that horse. Please go away with the horse. And the gypsy man smile and say, man, continue talking about your horse in that way, and you will not be able to sell the horse again. And and this is joke is so valid, so fantastic, because every time you need to implement something, you need to believe in, and if you are not believing in, you will not be able to sell the idea again to the rest of the people, to the rest of the organization and the individuals. It was crazy because I'm repeating this joke every time I have the opportunity to talk in front of the PMI audiences in Spain many times. In terms of, please reflect, if you want to join an organization, a project management professional organization like PMI, reflect about, okay, are you able to sell that horse? Do you believe in that horse or not? Because if you are not able to believe in the horse, you will not be able to ride it. And yeah, it was helpful. I can remember it was a horse that a joke that was told by my father long time ago, and I use it for my profession. So I'm happy with that.
That is a great joke. I still remember it, and that presentation was some years ago. Um, you also find time to be a volunteer in the Project Management Institute, and you're now mentoring people. How does that work? Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, well, I was initially being a volunteer since almost 13 years ago. And well, I discovered that being a volunteer, it was like opening a great window about meeting new people. And, obviously you need to dedicate some of your free time to that. But, project management is my passion. So I really enjoy doing that. Sometimes you need to be careful about not obstacling your business for the service of a volunteer. But I was creating a chapter in Barcelona. I live in Madrid, but I created a chapter in Barcelona. I was a founder of PMI Madrid too, and I have been playing different positions. And lastly, I was nominated last year as a mentor for the Region 8 Southwest. So my job there is giving advice to chapter leaders in order to promote the profession locally and obviously globally. And it's a really challenging job as a volunteer because it allowed me to meet new people and to know very, very well different approaches and different local cultures about project management implementation. I can remember some weeks ago I visited Israel, Tel Aviv, and it was really well surprised about the passion for project management they have there and how huge is the market and opportunities in that area. But also I had the opportunity to visit Istanbul in Turkey, and it was exactly the same. The amount of people that are leaving the profession and the need of projects to be managed worldwide is tremendous. So every time I'm traveling and discovering many, many opportunities to meet people, but not only to meet people, but also having the opportunity to know much better how to help each other and how to learn from each other. So I think for me, being a volunteer is absolutely intangible because you cannot measure and you cannot recognize it with money. You need to recognize with the value you have, knowing much more people and having the opportunity to network and to contact anybody worldwide. So I think it is one of the intangible things a professional can have is the level of contacts you have, the level of networking you have in your life for any possibility in your profession or in your personal life. And this is not, you cannot measure it with money. It only can be measured by, by from heart to heart, from individual to individual. So I'm a very, very people-oriented person. So probably some people can consider that I am very, very altruistic or, very utopic people. But I think the utopia is in one side and the people and the human beings are in the other side. So this is my approach.
Now I have a very difficult question for you, because in all that activity of yours, I asked you to pick a significant project that you enjoyed particularly, or it was particularly challenging for you, and what was your biggest achievement? What was your big project?
Well, I think one of the projects I managed that we really enjoyed was a project in a savings bank in the south of Spain, in a bank, in which I was the project manager for software development and infrastructure project. But we also have, in reality, it was a program because it was probably three or four projects at the same time. And obviously, they needed to achieve some strategic objectives. In reality, it was a program. So it was a program manager. But one of the projects was changing the roles and responsibilities for all the people in the organization. So it was a change management project. And I think my great achievement on that was, being humble enough to listen to people in the organization, because the third party that was working with us failed in the delivery of the project, and part of the responsibility was for me. So I was in charge, not only about the software development and the infrastructure project, but also for the change management project. And it was a real challenge because in some occasions, I needed to play double hat, and it is not recommendable for any project at all. I needed to act as a sponsor and also as a project manager. And it was very, very difficult for me because those hats, in my opinion, are incompatible. So you need to define who is the sponsor and who is the project manager. So I had a lot of sponsorship from my organization, and I needed to run those two hats. I suffered a lot because in front of my manager said that it seems to be that you, Alfonso, belongs to the customer organization, not to the delivery one. And I said, okay, well, I am spending a lot of time in the customer side instead of my original company. So what do you expect from me? And then the second thing was that as I needed to act as a sponsor, I needed to play some executive roles. And finally, I got some good personal relationship with the managers of the savings bank. So it was great for me, and it was a wonderful thing because I learned a lot of from them. It was probably one of my achievements, I think, in my career.
How did you separate the roles of the sponsor and the project manager? I mean, you are absolutely right. They want basically opposite things out of the project. The sponsor wants to do everything he can for the smallest amount of money. The project manager just wants to do that, don't what he has to do. He doesn't want to go over budget. He wants to do it on time. So, how did you manage that double role?
Yeah, well, the thing is that it was very difficult for me because I needed obviously to ask to my original company, the provider company, to give me some authority doing that, and I didn't. So finally, the problem was that the customer appreciated my efforts in trying to do that, but they understood that my role was project manager, not the sponsor, and the customer in this particular case complained about that. So the thing is that in my particular opinion, and it is expressed in my book on project sponsorship that was published in 2006, and in that book I am telling this type of story and different stories in organizations because the main thing is that usually most of the companies worldwide has not a clear definition about what are the responsibilities and role of the project sponsor in front of the project manager and how to play together, because for me it's a very, very inseparable binomial, it's a conjunction. They need to work as a team. I mean, the project sponsor need to make business decisions. The project manager is able to do technical and project decisions on a daily basis, but they need each other. For instance, one example was that when I managed that project, I had one third party that was not working properly, and I wanted to fire him. And I told to my sponsor, my internal sponsor in my company, and he said, "Oh no, 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 Alfonso, please don't do it because this third party is working with customer A, customer B, and customer C. So if we are firing him, we will be damaging not only your project but also 3 or 4 more projects. So this type of confidential information is managed and known only by the sponsor, not by the project manager. So this is because that relationship needs to be defined and managed very clearly, and how to separate what are the responsibilities for him or her and what are the responsibilities for the project manager. So it is one of the insights in my career to define a clear definition, roles and responsibilities for your sponsor according to your environment. So I don't care about what is happening in company A and company B. What is your company environment? And how to define the roles and responsibilities that are working for you in order to get better results in your company. So it was really insightful for me.
That must have been a great lesson learned. Uh, That would be a good recommendation for new project managers just starting. What other recommendations would you have for someone starting in project management?
Well, I think the first one is to build up a solid project management foundation training. I mean, they need to study and need to read books and so on. But the second thing is practice. I think they need to manage projects, they need to make mistakes, and I recommend it to find a way to love people. You know, loving people mean being respectful, listening to them, you know, and being open to collaborate, being open to learn, to contribute, and to teach and to give feedback. And the third one, but not less important, will be don't assume anything. You know, everything needs to be asked. One of my lessons learned in my life is that I was asking too few questions during my previous experience as a project manager. And at the moment I was, managing more and more projects over the years, I learned that you need to ask as many questions you have, as many questions you can in order to verify things, not assuming anything. So number one is to build up a solid foundation in project management training. Number two is don't assume anything, and number three will be manage projects, make mistakes, and love people. It will be my three preferred messages to new people, to new PMs.
Okay. Would you recommend a particular book for someone starting in project management, for instance?
Well, a good book to start as a project manager. There are many books in the market, obviously, you know, the classical ones from, Dr. Kessner or whatever. There are some on basic foundations. My first book, it was in Spanish on project management foundation, obviously. But, Davison Frame book is a very good book in, uh, in order to start as a project manager. Uh, John Davison Frame. It is from Willy Editors, and there are a good book to is how to create the right environment for successful project. But it's not only for project managers; it's also for upper managers and executives. Because, as I said, defining the right environment is critical for success. And I have, a long list of good books because as soon as I read much more in project management, I am conscious that I know what I don't know, you know. So I think every time you are progressing, you need to look for more books, for more references to learn. Yeah, yeah. But obviously, they need to practice. They need to make mistakes, and they need to follow some principles, obviously. But practice is the key, in my opinion.
What do you think that it's particularly different from nowadays to the days when you started in project management?
Well, probably the first thing is globalization. I think globalization now is the key. I mean, being open to manage international projects and dealing with international people is one of the key. The second thing is the changing environment. So I think if a project manager needs to develop an important soft skill, it is one of them to be able to be able to adapt it, to be able to customize things, to be adaptable. And I always defend that everywhere you go, drink as they drink, eat as they eat, and enjoy as they enjoy. And this is a principle that I try to practice, and it works very well. And probably the second one is to be open. I mean, not, obviously you need to use your discernment, but being open to those things is very, very important. Opening to listen to people. And the third one, but not less important, is to be ready to learn. To be ready to learn and loving people and respecting people. You know. So I am using three sentences in many talks, and also I am a practitioner of that. It is I need you. I need as a professional. Okay. I need your experience. Okay. I want you. I want with me because you can contribute to my success in my project. And the third one, but not less important, is I love you. I respect you as a person. You know, I need to be careful with the third one because some people misunderstand the meaning, but the thing is just respect is the basis, I think.
Okay. Well, it's been a great talk. I just have two quick questions, and we can wrap it up. The first quick question: who would you like to see interviewed next on the Who Is program?
Well, probably, well, one of the person that I like to be interviewed will be my colleague Randall Englund. Randall Englund has been an author and co-author of many books. He had the opportunity to work very closely with Dr. Robert Graham, Bob Graham. He was also a good author and anthropologist. And he has a lot of expertise. I mean, more than 35 years in project management. He has been a PMI contributor, but also traveling multinationally and internationally speaker, consultant, and executive. He will be one candidate.
I think it will be a wonderful interview, that one. Uh, and the last question: what do you think that I should have asked you that I didn't, and what is the answer to that?
Well, I think probably one of the things that I thought you will not be asking me will be how many hours of effort I have dedicated to my career, but I think I answered the question. So the thing is just in terms of how many hours do you need to dedicate as a professional to be successful. My question will be, yes, you need to dedicate as many hours as you consider, being conscious about at the moment you are taking care of yourself as a person, not only as a professional, you need to establish a border between your professional life and your personal life, and sometimes those borders are invaded one each other, So the thing is just at the moment you are becoming much better professional, you will be able to divide and to set up those boards in terms of not mixing your personal with your professional life, because your life is also a project, but your life is a very critical project. So I think when I am thinking about my previous years, traveling all the time, very very far away from my family, I was missing them a lot. So I think one of the things need to be considered for a professional is being able to separate, because if you are leading yourself, you will be able to lead other people. If not, you will be failing for sure.
That is a very good piece of advice. Well, all I have to do now is to thank you very much for your time and your collaboration in this interview. And I hope to see you soon, maybe on the next PMI Congress, and we have the chance to talk. It's really a privilege to be able to talk for an hour or something with someone like you. Thank you very much, Alfonso.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you, Luis, for the opportunity, and have a great day. Thank you.
You too. I hope you enjoyed this interview with Alfonso Bucero. The interview is brought to you by the Information Systems Community of Practice. This is your host, Luis Chiabra, and I'll be back next month to introduce you to another remarkable project manager. Thank you.